harassed by the cops at ground zero. And this is our First Amendment right to publicly assemble. We are not obstructing vehicular or pedestrian traffic. And as long as no, we're not, because we allow people to walk. We allow people to walk. We're out here every Saturday.
I'm telling you now,
for the past
you will not set up here. People walk through here, okay?
Every
you can
Saturday.
step over to the side and go where no one sets up and walk. Do you understand that? I am not here to debate you,
what you said, but
sir, I am not here to debate you.
Okay.
You will take the stuff and move it off to the side. Thank you very much.
Why don't you move it over here now?
All I see is a driveway.
Yes, on the other side over there. Right over there.
Right? You might as well get it done now. Right?
I want them to show us.
Yeah, exactly. Right on the other side.
We're just standing here, so we don't understand why we're being surrounded by all these officers. No, not you, but these guys. This guy is intimidating me with that large gun. It's very intimidating.
Okay, well, if you feel intimidated, then maybe we should leave.
Well, I'm an American citizen.
Well, you want to welcome the same, but if you're upset, I don't want you to be upset. No one is harassing you. Sir.
We have to move.
Well, I'm telling you now that no one's harassing you.
Okay.
And you just want to sit here and talk.
All right.
They're making us look
I
bad.
hope they take a flyer, but you know what I'm saying. They're asking us not to
do what?
If you're going to stand here, it's not an issue. But if you're going to do what you're going to do,
put our poster boards down, we'll do it over there. All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I told them.
This is James Lane from We Are Change, Oklahoma. We're down here at Ground Zero on Saturday, September 10th, 2011. We're with all the We Are Change chapters from all over the world, reaching out to people here and trying to raise awareness about the attacks of September 11th and the significance of the 10th anniversary.
We Are Change Colorado. We've come down to check out the events for the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and 10 years is way too long, and it's time to wake the people up. We're going to give it another try.
And to me, somebody who voted for George Bush in 2004, believed the war on terror, believed the official 9/11 story, I did the research. I learned what was going on. I thought this was insane, all this here. I thought these people were nut jobs. And now I'm a nut job who wants my country back because I love this country deeply. And 9/11 truth to me, people are like, well, if I learn about this, I'm going to hate America. No, it's not that you hate America. You love America more because you appreciate what our founders left us and why we must preserve that and we fight for that for the future.
We're here to ask for a new investigation for 9/11.
Well, I'm here for truth, and that's pretty much it. The more we spread it, the better it'll be for everyone here, and we can throw away what the government's done to us here. That's about it.
Yeah, I think it's still important because we're still at war over this. People are still dying because of what happened. We still don't know what exactly happened, who was behind it. So people are just dying and we still don't know why. And our freedoms are still being taken away and we haven't gotten them back yet. The war on terror is ongoing, so this is a current issue. It may be 10 years ago that this happened, but the consequences are still felt by us in everyday life. So I think we should not forget that we haven't been told the whole truth about this event.
Because I want to support our 9/11 first responders and support learning the truth about what really happened. I was never into politics before, but being with We Are Change New York City has changed my views on things, and now I want to support finding out the truth about 9/11.
I'm here because I don't believe the official accounting at all, and I did some reading. I read about 8 books on the subject and found the story very compelling, and the official accounting just doesn't add up at all. And then I learned that the government does lie, and you know they're very good at it.
Because it still affects us all, and it's not over. Just because this happened doesn't mean that there's other things that are still going on that we need to find out about.
People are too conditioned right now, or let their emotions dictate everything. Like they're afraid to actually look at the information. I just had a lady over here earlier, like, I just want to walk over all this stuff. I'm like, man, why don't you read instead of walk over? She's like, I was there. I know it happened, but she's allowing the emotions to block it. Like, there's been 10 years of research. Just because you were there doesn't mean you know every single thing that went on. Until people can allow themselves to open their minds and actually take in the information, they're not going to move us forward in the world. We're going to continue to just deal with these problems over and over. So.
It's a horrendous thing that has happened, and there's still no justice. But there will be. I have a responsibility. I'm a grandmother, and I have 2 grandkids. And if people don't wake up and do what they're supposed to do and stop being in denial, we're not going to have a future.
I'm here not so much for 9/11 truth, but to fight the New World Order. You know? It's obviously really bad, but this is a key awakening tool for everyone to find out what's really going on with the New World Order and how they're trying to make a one world government and enslave us all as a human race.
Truth is always important. Now, 20 years from now, we'll never forget. You can't forget. It's the 9/11's the reason for 2 wars, illegal wars, the Patriot Act, TSA, illegal groping at the airports, the police state being set up around us.
Well, the truth is always important, whether it's 10 minutes after the fact or 100 years after the fact. You know, anytime you're learning about what's really going on in the world, in your life, in the lives of all your brothers and sisters around you, there's nothing more valuable or important than that, than truth and love. That's what it's all about, and they're both intertwined.
Well, I mean, the U.S. government has a history of false flag attacks that have led to wars, which have led to bad economies, which have led to, you know, a lot of people lost their lives. Obviously, that's important. But I think the greater question is, at this point, you know, why are we in these wars? And this is why we're in these wars. And if we can expose the truth about what actually happened, and if we can take our government and say, look, you guys are responsible for this, or even if, you know, you just let it happen, you've got us involved in these wars because of something that we shouldn't, you know, that really didn't happen the way you said it did.
It's good to see a lot of people are out here. I definitely support the movement. You know, I wasn't there. I can't tell you exactly what happened, but as an American, my questions are still not answered. 10 years later, still not answered. And I think a lot of Americans feel that. A lot of Americans are coming together and, you know, realizing whether it be Bush, whether it be Obama, it's the same people running things. It's the same policies. It's the same, you know, police state agenda that's going down in our country.
You know, it's 10 years later and I'm down here in New York because I want to remember that day, and I want to remember why my liberties are being stripped, why I have to go to checkpoints when I go to the airport, why I have to have an x-ray machine analyze my innards. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So it's important to remember the truth of that day, because if we don't get the answers we need, we're going to forget why our liberties are being lost. And again, it goes back to Building 7. Oh, really? That is like, for lack of better words, that's like the grassy knoll. You know, it's like it's that linchpin argument about how those buildings came down that day. So if you ask yourself why you're being scanned, if you ask yourself why there's checkpoints, if you ask yourself why our phones are tapped and why Obama continues to endorse the Bush policies, you have to go back to one day in history, the day of September 11th.
10 years later, we still have not had a truly impartial investigation. We have not gotten justice for those murdered and for those people that continue to be murdered. The first responders that are dying every year of all kinds of respiratory illnesses, and then the illnesses that pile on top of those respiratory illnesses they get from the other drugs that they have to take, and it's an exponential amount of death, and those people still have not had any justice. So I think that's why it's important to continue to ask questions and to continue to push for a true independent investigation.
A lot of people ask me, especially now on the eve of the 10th anniversary of 9/11, which is going to take place literally less than 24 hours from now. In fact, it's around just a little over 12 hours before those planes actually hit those towers, or at least began to. And why is it still relevant today? Why is it important that we do not leave a legacy of the official government, mainstream establishment lie as 9/11? Why do we have to fight that? Well, our foreign and national policy, you know, our domestic policy here at home, all of it, let me say it again, all of it is still guided by that official fable. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look at our country right now. I've got military on the streets in New York City. I've got headlines in MSNBC and CNN that there are going to be tanks on the street tomorrow. I've got Bloomberg and others propagating threats of car bombs for excuses to search people without a Fourth Amendment waiving warrant. No warrants. In fact, for the first time ever in New York City, I saw myself audio devices that are now capturing our conversations. That's right, the cameras aren't enough. And that's just here, okay? That's the mode that they've used to decimate the economy, to bring in the police state, to utterly eviscerate what used to be the upper and middle class. They're gone. It's over with. They're all in debt. It's the few and far between. The haves have more and the have-nots have less. Okay, that's here. That's now. However, we do see little glimmers of light shining through the cracks. You know, we see in popular culture now there are 9/11 truth comic books put out by people like Image. You know, Right Now came out last week. We see that the mainstream media has to cover the fact that there are gatherings like this one, Liberty Fest and others, that are showing 9/11 truth films, that are having real patriots tell the truth to other people. They know that there will be hundreds, if not thousands of us down at Ground Zero tomorrow. So we just got to keep pushing forward and pushing forward and pushing forward and addressing the other issues that intertwine with this event, which is the geopolitical defining event of our generation's lives and will continue to be, no matter whether we expose it or not. But let's hope to God we do expose it, or we don't have a future.